I don't necessarily think they know what's going on yet. There's a lot of weird shit going on with this.
I know. I almost texted you when the Charlie Kirk thing happened because my antennas went up about, they showed the photo of that kid, of the guy that they have, the 22-year-old,
yeah,
whatever. And I was almost going to be like, dude.
But this kid had a rifle with a scope. Now, here's where it gets weird. The first images of this rifle with a scope, I swear to God, it looks like he has a composite stock on it. Like, it looks like a modern 30-06 rifle.
But I want to take the start of this show to address some of the things that have been going around on public, namely about a group text chain that has been made known and released by Candace Owens. And I just want to address it head on because, that was a screen grab that I had shared with people. So it
All right, everyone, prepare yourself and get some munchies, because there are a lot of new twists to this Charlie Kirk story. It seems that Joe Rogan has suddenly found himself in the middle of the controversy. Furthermore, what he is purportedly disclosing is really outrageous. Joe didn't only hear rumors, according to insiders. In an effort to piece together what actually transpired before everything abruptly halted for Charlie, he has been discreetly speaking with those who are close to both Candace Owens and Charlie. According to Joe's explanation, there's a completely new layer that no one anticipated. Joe is reportedly implying that the significant rift between Candace and Charlie before to his untimely death may have been caused by Erica Kirk. According to others close to them, things started to feel strange. Months prior, with odd phone calls, bizarre messages, and even abrupt shifts in Charlie's project management style. Being as astute as she is, Candace apparently attempted to alert him to the fact that anything was amiss, that those attempting to steer the story may have put pressure on Erica. Charlie, however, started to remove himself from her instead of trusting her, which left everyone perplexed. Online followers are already speculating that Joe may have just opened a can of worms with this one, because this story is going to upend everything we believe to be true about that friendship. If what he's hinting at is accurate, shortly thereafter, things abruptly changed in front of everyone.
Just got a tip that busts the CK case wide open. Tyler Robinson has partial paralysis in his right leg. And that's how people identified him, not from the photographs.
And his family, who has since been interrogated, specifically stated to FBI interrogators that because of the video that the FBI released at my direction, and because of the photographs that they released, they identified their son.
This means that his unusual gait, his limp, was not because there was a rifle down his pants. And those of us with eyeballs already knew this. But this confirms it. This also explains why we never saw a perp walk, why they used all these still photos, and why they only showed him limping one time when he's on the way. So that they could run the narrative that the weapon was down his skinny jeans and nobody could see it.
It resembled something from a motion picture. This is where things become even more bizarre, though. According to news sources, Joe Rogan reportedly thinks Erica may have been more involved in Charlie's fate than first believed. Earzo 346, yes, you heard correctly. Joe.
Okay. Congratulations, you have been selected to receive the Resident Presidential Scholarship from Utah State University. The value of this scholarship is approximately $32,000. This scholarship is available for 4 years or 8 semesters.
Has been surreptitiously piecing together the details with those who were present on that day because he believes there is much more to the story. Candace Owens has made this personal for those who haven't been paying attention. She is determined to find out what truly happened to Charlie, and she won't be giving up anytime soon.
And yeah, I didn't want to come out and say that it was a fact that there was a woman with the shooter without any proof. We had no proof outside of this person, and what she was saying felt real to me, definitively, but I needed something more solid. Well, we came across something more solid. We reviewed the footage that Shayna brought her. Of course, we downloaded everything, but hadn't actually reviewed it, had wiped from the internet. And the proof is in the pudding, and I'm going to let you hear it. Now, to set this up in this actual clip that Shayna had posted and has since been wiped from the internet, take a listen.
If you time how long it took him to get from that little part over to here, was way longer than it should have been. So I wondered if the girl had given him stuff, like if there is an accomplice. Sorry, you're filming.
And it said right here, that picture from Sam's across the street, he was right here.
Yep.
So you see, she's talking about the shooter, and she says, I was wondering if the girl had given him stuff, and then somebody off camera says, you're filming, and she says, I'm sorry that you're filming, but it's very clear. There's no question at all. In fact, leading into that, which we should have maybe cut that a little bit earlier, they're speaking about how she thought the FBI had it wrong. The timing didn't make sense to her.
What? All right. She has been following up on all leads and hints, even delving into reports and communications that the mainstream media seems to be ignoring. Online users are viewing the scenario with utter amazement due to the things she has been revealing. Why does it feel like the higher-ups are trying to hide something? Is the question that everyone is now asking. Interview Dart0441-6. Wadon, why do some people feel that the inquiry went too quickly, too neatly, and too conveniently? Given that the FBI has been so intent on blaming Tyler Robinson when the true culprit may still be out there, many are beginning to wonder if their version of events even makes sense. Candace is coming closer to the truth, according to her supporters. And that's precisely what's causing anxiety in certain folks. You most likely recall the FBI's assertion that Tyler Robinson was reported to have been in a bad place while in detention, and how he was turned in by his own father after being listed as a wanted man. Hold on, though, because things got far more complicated than anyone anticipated. Candace Owens retaliated forcefully just hours after FBI Director Kash Patel went public online, stating that the agency was broadening the inquiry and even investigating conspiracy theories. However, I would like to use the beginning of this program to discuss some of the issues that have been making the rounds in the public, namely with a group text chain that has been made public and disclosed by Candace Owens. And since there was a screen grab and text grab that I had shared with others, I just want to deal with it directly. Since I am genuinely thrilled that the truth is out there, I want to investigate if it is genuine. I want to start by explaining why I chose not to make that screenshot public. It was a private interaction, and I didn't think it necessarily aligned with previously published information. I desired to not violate my friend's confidence in that manner, but because it happened so quickly, I did discuss it with several government officials. It took the authorities 33 hours to apprehend their suspect. And we wanted to explore every possibility during those initial moments. We wanted to do everything we could. I thus told a few individuals about it. I have no idea where it went. She didn't only doubt the tale, apparently, she ripped it up. In a daring article, Candace pointed out the contradictions in the information the feds had made public, claiming that some aspects were completely out of sync. The main allegation she refuted was that Tyler was turned in by his own father. She stated that there is no evidence of it, and alluded to the possibility that the narrative was staged to give the impression that the Bureau had everything under control. Then came the social media shaking line. Tyler Robinson is not suicidal, she wrote. Overnight, that one post became viral. Theories, screenshots, and videos linking dots that the media would not touch began to pour into the comments. Hashtags were trending within hours. Everyone was asking the same question, and her fans were supporting her. Who is actually in charge of all this havoc if Candace is correct? Candace didn't hesitate in the least. She stated bluntly that the whole tale concerning Tyler's mental illness was made up. She claims that nearly all of the information that the media spread about this case was either fabricated or greatly inflated in order to support a particular story. The claim that his father turned him in following a confession of some sort. That's complete nonsense too, she said. According to Candace, Tyler has consistently insisted on his innocence and has never even visited the UVU campus that the authorities frequently bring up. She drew attention to the fact that the school has not produced a single unambiguous image or video demonstrating Tyler's presence. His family claims that there is only one hazy picture that is unquestionably not him. People are wondering how deep this cover-up actually goes based just on that. Candace made it apparent in her statement that she thinks the feds are fabricating a story to support their version of events, even noting that Tyler has never once voiced harmful or self-destructive sentiments. This is where things truly took people by surprise. She acknowledged that the only thing the authorities are correct about is that Tyler is the owner of the registered safety equipment involved in the case. Beyond that, though, she claims it's all meticulously planned lies, cover-ups, and disinformation meant to hide the truth. Everyone is now wondering what else they might be concealing behind closed doors, and whether this is the extent of the distortion we are witnessing in public. Candace didn't simply return the clap. She arrived with the receipts, prepared to close everything, the crazy false stuff circulating on the internet. She started by addressing the widely disseminated viral video, which the FBI gleefully posted and purportedly showed Tyler Robinson running across a rooftop immediately following the alleged event. Within hours, the video had accumulated millions of views, and the majority of people simply took it at its value. However, Candace said, "Hold up, that's not Tyler, not even close." She claimed that the individual in that video couldn't have been Tyler because his movement was inconsistent with his true state of health. She disclosed something that the general public was unaware of. Tyler had been limping significantly for months due to partial paralysis in his right leg. To support her argument, she even showed old video of him strolling at a neighborhood gathering. The FBI's argument that his limp was caused by attempting to hide a piece of equipment under his clothing is totally undermined by that revelation. The math simply doesn't make up, according to Candace. If someone found it difficult to simply jog without assistance, how could they move that quickly, jump roofs, and vanish in a matter of seconds? She described the widely shared video as a stage distraction, claiming it was intended to prevent viewers from posing more in-depth queries. Fans are already pointing out height disparities, mismatched outfits, and even irregularities in Tyler's running style by contrasting frames from the video with older images of the actor. According to her admirer, because of that silence alone. Every new information Candace reveals just serves to cast doubt on the official story, and the timetable doesn't add up. The entire conversation was turned upside down as Candace dropped a huge bombshell. Suddenly, she released what appeared to be private chat records from Charlie Kirk himself. Charlie allegedly stated in the messages that he was done endorsing the pro-Israel movement as a whole, and that he wanted to cut ties with some contributors who had been overly influential. She asserted that she made the texts public to demonstrate that Charlie had turned down several significant offers of political funding in a matter of weeks, prior to everything collapsing. Everyone initially believed that the communications had to be phony, either created by artificial intelligence or perhaps altered. The twist, however, left everyone in a state of shock. A number of individuals who had previously collaborated with Charlie online came forward to attest that the timestamps and writing style were exactly in keeping with Charlie's previous texting habits. All of a sudden, those phony texts didn't appear to be phony. People are now questioning if Charlie's decision to distance himself from wealthy benefactors was actually possible. Be the cause of everything that has transpired since. Because this entire narrative just went from being suspect to explosive if those texts are real. Turning Point America employees came forward to vouch for the authenticity of the leaked conversation. And the internet went completely crazy after that discovery. People couldn't believe what they were seeing when screenshots appeared everywhere on social media. Charlie Kirk's purported rejection of significant political contributors shortly before everything that transpired turned the story completely upside down. All of a sudden, it was more than a controversy. People wanted answers quickly because it was beginning to look like a full-on setup. However, something unexpected occurred right when everyone believed Candace Owens was the only one investigating Charlie's enigmatic circumstances. Both literally and figuratively, Joe Rogan joined the conversation. Insiders close to Joe's podcast crew claim that he has been conducting his own covert probe. And he's not being kind about it, evidently. He has been contacting former employees of Turning Point, obtaining documents, verifying trip dates, and even going over information that was never included in the public reports. Furthermore, according to insiders, Joe intends to discuss everything on his show in the near future. Additionally, what he has discovered may reveal an entirely other aspect of this case. Online users are already speculating that Joe Rogan's findings could disrupt the internet if he makes them public. With Joe conducting independent research and Candace providing evidence, the mystery is growing more intense by the second. And I have a feeling that the true narrative is just getting started. Insiders close to Joe Rogan's inner circle claim that he believes the Charlie Kirk event was too well planned to be a spontaneous occurrence. From the beginning, it appeared to have been planned. The portion that is blowing everyone's minds is right here. According to reports, Joe thinks that Erica Kirk may have been more involved than anyone initially thought. Yes, you did hear that, correct? It's possible that the same Erica who accompanied Charlie to all of his public appearances was secretly manipulating strings. This is where things start to get very crazy. According to the source, Joe thinks Erica wasn't merely a spectator. In actuality, it was she who pushed Charlie and Candace Owens apart. It seems that Erica wants greater authority over Charlie, not just in his private life, but also at significant turning points, Point America choices, particularly those that have to do with funding, contributors, and political clout. According to insiders, the tension began to simmer quickly behind closed doors because Erica didn't like Candace's amount of voice. If that wasn't ugly enough, Joe allegedly claimed that Candace attempted to warn Charlie directly before things went south. According to reports, she warned him that a close friend or relative was attempting to influence his inner choices. Charlie, however, chose to side with Erica, who allegedly turned the entire narrative on its head and made Candace appear to be the issue. They never fully recovered from the rift that was produced by that move. The part that everyone is talking about came next. Joe noted that Erica didn't appear to be at all interested in identifying the perpetrator of the terrible event that put Charlie's life in ruins. Rather, she became silent, separated from Candace, and began to steer the public discourse. According to Joe's supporters, he has been connecting the dots that nobody else was willing to touch. And this could be one of the more shocking influencer betrayals in recent memory, if what he's implying is confirmed. People couldn't help but notice that Erica Kirk appeared to be far too fast to move on and publicly forgive, as if she had no interest in learning more or pursuing true justice for Charlie. Fans on the internet soon began side-eyeing her every action after it came out as clumsy and nearly practiced. In the interim, Candace Owens, investigating, presenting challenging questions, and revealing everything that doesn't add up. She is knee-deep in the pandemonium. She has stated that she is not merely interested in making headlines. She is willing to upset people in order to obtain the truth, which she desires. The public's perception of Turning Point USA has completely changed once Joe Rogan revealed how strained Candace and Erica's relationship actually was behind closed doors. The internal drama no longer appears to be a coincidence. A full-fledged power battle appears to be going on. Following Charlie's death, many are now wondering how Erica became CEO so quickly and if the timing was simply too good. Inside political circles, the murmurs are becoming more audible. Was all of this a covert takeover? Even more bizarre, many are pointing out that many people weren't happy with Erica's actions following Charlie's death. She appeared at ease. Additionally, serene. She moved directly into promoting the same political message Charlie had allegedly been separating himself from, rather than taking a back seat or expressing grief. In a matter of weeks, she was shaking hands, doing interviews, and advocating for the very cause Charlie had supposedly refused to continue supporting. She seemed to have a desire to erase his last change in opinions and replace them with her own. Social media is currently ablaze as people compare schedules, examine her statements, and question what actually went down before to that terrible time inside Turning Point. Joe's disclosures, Candace's inquiry, and Erica's abrupt rise to prominence have made this tale seem less like politics and more like a potential scandal. Yes, everything about this case suddenly seems far too suspect. The internet went completely crazy when Joe Rogan revealed how Candace Owens attempted to alert Charlie Kirk about Erica. Kirk. The comment sections were overrun by fans. who were furious at the specifics and spouting hypotheses everywhere. People are calling this case one of the most perplexing and startling stories of the year. One person wrote, "Yep, Joe Rogan isn't the only one raising questions about what really happened to Charlie." Another person wrote, "Something about this whole story just doesn't add up. The truth's going to come out sooner or later." There are simply too many odd coincidences, everyone agrees. From the lightning of Erica, everything seems too perfect to be true. From the swift takeover at Turning Point America to the speed at which the official tale was concluded. Online viewers even make fun of the fact that Erica took over more quickly than a relay racer would seize the baton. She went from being in the background to conducting interviews, making choices, and advancing her political agenda as if nothing had happened. And the online discussion hasn't ended yet. Some people believe Tyler Robinson was set up, referring to him as a fall guy who was involved in a political scandal, storm that was too strong for him. Some are even speculating that a whole network of individuals may be involved. Deep ties, well-known names, and covert intentions all work to conceal some facts. For now, it's all conjecture. But the internet is ablaze with activity. What do you think then? Before things went too far, did Candace Owens actually attempt to alert Charlie about Erica? Or is Joe Rogan making too many assumptions? Something that has already been irreparably twisted? In any case, one thing is certain. There is yet more to this story, and the next episode may be even more outrageous than this one. Please